that everybody asks for. This a fast life, we are on a crash course. What you think I rap for? Oh, we live. But I know that if I stay stunting, all these girls only gon' want one thing. I can spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come is good. Inappropriate. We're live. Hello, universe. What is it's cat here? Hi, Bubba. Hi, Love Muffin. What can I do for you? Hello, I'm Victoria Wilder. Welcome to my home. I am author of the Gothic urban fantasy fiction, Gothic fiction, Lullaby of the Lula 2, as well as this book. Hey, can you get out of the way? People can't see my book. I just like this song, so I let it keep playing, but I actually probably should have turned it off, or YouTube's gonna, copyright strike me. Hi, can you move? Can you go? Do you need help? Do you need help because there are so many books in the way? What if I do this? Does that help? Hello. I am the author of Lullaby of Lila 2, and I'm currently working on its sequel, which is what we're going to be working on tonight. Welcome to our write-in. If you're new to the channel and you've never done a write-in, all that means is we're going to take 20-minute sections and write together. In the meantime, I'm going to chat with you, talk about the writing, the experience, everything that's been going on. Let me know how you've been doing. Let me know what you're working on tonight, what your goals are for your writing project, whatever it is you're working on. If it's not writing, if it's art or anything else, let me know what you're doing. If you're making chili, call me, bring me some chili. It's one of my favorite things to eat. Thank you very much. And hey, so I wrote this book. I also wrote one of the stories in this book, Voices of Christmas, which you don't have to read for Christmas, but it has to do with Christmas. I also wrote this poetry collection, and just yesterday I published a short story called The Final Chapter on Amazon. It's on Amazon Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and so you can go there and read it for free for the rest of this week until Saturday evening. And I recommend it because I wrote it. And also, I think it's pretty good. And if enough people like it, then maybe, just maybe, it'll become a whole novella or a whole series. So go ahead and read that and let me know what your opinions are on it. Also, let me know your opinions on this gold lipstick. It's really bright, and it looks actually better on camera than I thought it would in person. I wanted to try a little makeup. I went out last night, had a really good time, but I woke up this morning feeling like I got hit by a truck. And so I was like, I want to do something that makes me feel lively and bright. And so I did some makeup to do that, because otherwise I would have just been like a corpse. And even though, as we all know, I've got a thing for corpses, I'd rather not look like one on camera today. So this is our weekly write-in that we usually do on Wednesdays. And next Wednesday, I will be back around this time and doing a write-in. It's just last week was an event. I had a friend here from California, or well, I didn't have him here. He came here from California, and I went to see him and see his CalArts showcase, which was really, really cool. It was a showcase of actors graduating from CalArts, the art school in California, and CalArts, it's not hard to figure that out. And then yesterday I went out. Like I said, my friend does a comedy show the second Wednesday of every month at Hollywood's Bar in Brooklyn, and I am almost always there, in case anybody out there is trying to find out where I am on the second Wednesday of every month. You can kind of figure out where I'm going to be, which is Hollywood's. And so we generally don't have a video that day. So yeah, here we are writing, waking up. I had quite a bit of wine. I don't drink as much as I used to. Like when I was younger, when I was like in my teens and, before I turned 21, I drank a whole lot more. And now that I've reached 30, I'm drinking maybe like once a month. And usually it's like 1 or 2 glasses of wine. But last night I got a free ticket Like I wasn't supposed to have the free ticket, but someone gave it to me. I got a free ticket, and then a friend bought me a drink, and then some strange man bought us a drink on the way out. Possibly, I don't know who he is. I think he like lived across the street. Maybe he owned the place. I don't know, but he bought us our last drinks, and I just had too many for my tiny little 4'11", 118-pound body. Okay, so here we are. But we are writing today, and I'm excited. We are going to start on the 15th. That seems like a good time. I am, like I said, working on the sequel to Lullaby of the Lilitu. The sequel is called Scourge of the Lilitu. I don't want to tell you guys too much about what's going on because I feel like that might bring in spoilers, ouch, from this book, because the second book is what happens directly after this book. It's like going right into all the consequences and all the results of everything that happened. So I can tell you that there will be a lot of traveling. We will be seeing a little bit of Scotland. We're going to be seeing a little bit of Brazil. We're going to be taking some time in Egypt. And we are going to be spending our time back in near London in the fictional village of Livesey, which is the village in this book, which is where all the Lilitu live, or well, which is where the main character's family lives in this book. Sorry, I'm talking to my friend, my lovely, darling, witchy friend, Ella. She is super cool, and she's giving me some advice about some things, because your girl needs advice. I don't understand life. I don't understand people, and I am just lucky to have lived 30 years with that lack of understanding. I'm live on YouTube now. Okay. So yeah, we're going to start in 2 minutes. We're going to do a 15-minute sprint to start and just to kind of get warmed up. I need a warm up. I haven't been writing at all today. I've been sewing. I'm trying to make a new altar cloth for my altar because I was just kind of getting tired of the ones that I have. And just chilling. I watched some Steven Universe. I've been just kind of trying to recover. I do have my water with a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, which is tangy and delicious for me. Your mileage may vary. I don't know what you guys like. Yeah, it's good. If you're into it, obviously. If you're not into it, then don't drink it. That's all I can tell you. Okay. So tonight we will be doing probably 3 sprints. That's generally the way I like to do it. We'll do 15 minutes and then we'll do 2 for 20 minutes. Unless you guys want me to do a different time, you can go ahead and let me know that in the chat box. And then, like I said, next week I'll be back on our Wednesday schedule. And I shouldn't be off of that schedule for a while, except for the second Wednesday of every month, as long as I am in New York. Okay, let me make sure my phone is silent so that we're not getting any buzzes, any noise. Do you guys see my little gray hairs? My little silver unicorn patch? I'm proud of it. It shows my age. This last minute is like taking a long time, and like I don't know who's here because no one's like in the chat box at this time. So like if you're just watching me sit here, watch the clock, you don't have to anymore because it's 8:15. Yay! All right, 15 minutes on the clock. Let's put some words in. look at that. And time. So that was a 15-minute sprint. How did that go if you're out there writing? And if you're watching this later at another date and it's not live for you, feel free to let me know in the comments how that writing sprint went. I was able to write 231 words. I am drafting right now. So we're in it. We're writing a book, you guys. And it's just kind of every now and then I just have this moment of like, oh crap, this is a book. Like, I'm writing a real book. And so far it's been that feeling with every book I've written. Like, this one took a long time because I didn't let myself really feel that. It was like, I'm just going to write a book someday. And then with Diva, it was like, I'm writing a book. And it's the same kind of thing with this now. It's like, wow, I'm writing a book. What do I do? Right now, I think I said this last week, but I'm just trying to get the words out, and then I'll come back and make it wild and give a lot more like description, a lot more. I just feel like there could probably be more. I'm a very sparse writer. I tend to just write what I see, like what I visualize in my head. I just write it that way, but it's not very sensory. So like, I haven't really gotten in touch with sound and smells and taste at this time. And I think in the second draft, I'll probably do that a little bit better. But in this draft, I just really want to make sure I get all the main information out, all of the main action. It's a lot of dialogue, honestly, right now. And I know that's going to change too, since this is the beginning of the book. And dialogue right now is just the best way I can think of to move things along, is having people talk and do things. And yeah, there are things happening. Like right now, there are three characters talking, and one of the characters is non-binary, and that's been hard. Oh, that's so funny. I just said the word non-binary, and now I have a message from someone named Binary. Oh, hi, I just turned in, but I actually was sprinting with a friend just now and went, well, I got about 300 words. Nice job. That is wonderful. So, yeah, I have this character, and they use they them pronouns, and I've never written a character that uses they them pronouns, and I want to make sure that it sounds right and that it's not too confusing, but it's very clear that they are a they them individual, and they're I don't really have an image for them. So these two characters, I made the mistake of not naming them until like last week, and I don't really have any pictures or images of them. So that, I think, has been a little bit tough for me. It's because I don't know exactly how they look. I have like their personalities in my head and an idea that they're definitely Egyptian, so they're like brown, but they're maybe not as dark as, say, Tabitha, who is Ghanaian, and there are two of them from Egypt that are in this conversation right now. So there is there's Seth, and Gamal, who is the they them character. And so writing all three of them in a scene has been a little bit harder than I expected it to be. But I mean, not bad hard, like just like something that I have to do actively. And it's not something I had to do actively in any of my other books. So it's just like a learning experience that I like a lot. And I like this character. I really like their personality. Gamal is like, I don't know how to explain them. They're just chill. They're kind of sarcastic. They grunt a lot. They dress nice, and they wear both masculine and femme clothes depending on how they feel. So that's fun because that's kind of what I do as well. So I don't know. Like I personally am not a binary person. Oh, wow. Hey, so Binary says, contrary to my nickname, I actually use they, them pronouns. I'm half Egyptian as well. Wow. So you're basically now a character in my book. I like Gamal. I like them a lot. They're really chill. And I don't know, I'm really just hoping and excited to flesh out their character more as I write, because I'm not the kind of author who really will have like I'll eventually have files and files on a character, but that's usually after writing them a bunch. Like even with this book, my character files were pretty sparse until around the second or third draft, in which case I was able to add more and add what they wear and like add quotes from them so that I could kind of have what their personality sounds like. And even that, I kind of gave up halfway through and was like, I'm not finding all these quotes. I'm not doing that. And so like I'm very lazy when it comes to character building, and I just kind of hope they turn out okay. I just kind of trust them to tell me who they are through their behavior, through their actions in the story. And so it's really hard for me to decide who they're going to be before they're written. You know what I mean? So hopefully Gamal is enjoyed by all. And as far as I know, I can't remember my whole outline because who does that? Who remembers things? But as far as I know, and this is probably a spoiler, but who's watching this? People who are going to forget by the time the book is out, right? You'll forget. Gamal doesn't like die or anything in the book. Like they live the whole way through, which is cool. Let's see. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they live the whole book through. And in fact, it takes a while before anyone actually dies in this book. And if you know me, you know that's kind of weird. Like for my novels, for even some of my short stories, not all of them, but there's usually some element of death pretty early on. And I guess because they are Lilitu, which are basically vampires, the death is inherent or something. I mean, I guess in the prologue chapters, the opening chapters, there is a little bit of violence and death, but even that, it's different. There's no one being stabbed or murdered or eaten for quite some time. Although in this chapter there will be some blood sucking, but even that won't be a death. See, your memory is awful. Mine too. Like it's not good. Like I don't remember things I write all the time. So like sometimes I'll like just open this book to a random page and be like, this was written by an alien. Like this was not me. This was someone else. I didn't create these words, but I like them. So good on you, Alien V. And it's a good experience because I also get to rewatch some of my favorite movies and shows. And like if I wait like a couple of years, I can like rewatch something and just be like it's almost like new. Like obviously, as I see things, my memory is jogged and I'll remember things. But there are many things in like my favorite books and movies that I don't remember whatsoever. So when I go back and read them, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that, or oh, I hated that. Why didn't I remember that? So I don't know. It's good and it's bad. It's bad in that there are things I do need to remember. I'm probably going to have to reread this book before I finish this draft because I do know there's a lot in this draft that I'm just not sure if it actually lines up with what was in the book. And like in my outline, when I was outlining, that was just kind of off the cuff. Like I was just like, what has to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's this? What's that? But some of it ties back into much of it ties back into the first book. So I really need to be sure of what the heck I wrote, and I'm not sure, unfortunately, because who's got time to be remembering all this? Once it's out and on paper, that's it. I get into this like zone where it's just like I don't remember nothing. Okay, so let's start the next sprint. What do you think? Should we start in 2 minutes or on the 45? So we can start on the 40 or the 45. The 40, let's do the 45 since it's already the 39 now. And that's just wherever you are. It could be 22, 39, 839. Oh yeah, I can open a document from a month ago and be like, I have no memory of this. I like it though. Let's see what happens. And I didn't finish it. Yes, that happens to me all the time where it's like, this was fun. Ooh, I want to keep reading this. And then it's like, oh, I didn't finish writing it. And what the heck? What am I going to do now? Because I don't feel like writing it. I just wanted to keep reading it. And sometimes that turns out really well. Sometimes I do end up finishing the story just to see how it ends. Sometimes I'm just like, I'll imagine how it ends and maybe come back to it someday. I actually have a lot of stories on my computer where I'm like, I'm going to come back to that someday, eventually. My lipstick is doing a weird thing, I think because of my water glass. What do you think of the gold? I think it kind of gives my lips a mustache. Like right in there? It's fine. I know, like in high school, I used to wear a lot of gold and red lipstick, or middle school actually. I was like 13, and I would wear red lipstick, and then I'd put gold lip gloss over it, and then I would walk around pretending I was Cleopatra, because that is what normal children do. Probably. I don't know. Have I ever met normal children? I don't know. Probably. Not as a child, though. Yeah, it like creates this like fancy stash, which is fine. I've always wanted a mustache. I think it's pretty. Thank you, Binary. I think it's okay. I like it. I think it would do better if I was wearing something a little bit more glam, if I was doing maybe a little bit of a fancy thing with the hair, but I'm not, because your girl is a sleepy person. And I do things with ease as opposed to not ease. I don't know. I don't know how to wear makeup. I know how to sit down and have someone else put makeup on my face. But other than putting lipstick on, I barely know what I'm ever doing when it comes to makeup. And I know that I can put lipstick on my lips and that works. And that's all I know how to do. That's all I can do. And that's all you're really going to get from me most of the time. But I am really good at like sitting down and having people do my makeup, because I used to do some modeling when I was younger. And I did like two pageants in my life. But like, I can sit down and just have somebody put makeup on my face. And like, I've been complimented because I'm a statue. Like, I don't blink a lot when they're doing it. I don't like freak out about them being close to my face. They could be like right here and I'm just like, cool. I can smell your burrito. And now I'm hungry because burritos are delicious. But thank you very much. I do like it. I think maybe if I tried red underneath, or if I like waited for it to fully dry before drinking water, or if I was wearing something nicer, I think I would like it better. But it's okay. I ain't gotta be pretty. I just gotta write pretty words, you know? I just have to write pretty words. And hopefully I'll figure out how to do that someday. Until then, I'm just gonna write basic ass words and hope people like them, which so far people have been liking. I just, like I said earlier, I just published a short story, and it's gotten some pretty good responses from beta readers. So I'm really, really hoping that people who read it on Amazon will leave good comments. And leave good reviews, so that other people can like it. Because I like it. I think it's a great story, and I would like to expand it. I just want to know if the need is there, if there is a market for it, because it is pretty different from other things that I've written. It's more fantasy than anything I've ever written. It's probably really just based on a game of D&D. I've actually used it in D&D games at work quite a few times, because I work at a game place where we play tabletop games with kids. And so I have actually used the world from this story that I just published. I've used this world multiple times in one-off D&D games. So if you like D&D, you're probably going to enjoy it. We have 2 minutes. We're going to do a 20-minute sprint in 2 minutes and just get what words you can get out. So I'm just typing the number of words I wrote last time so that I can reset my word counter on Scrivener. I love Scrivener. It's like the best writing app I've ever used, and I will always, like, probably, unless something better comes out, I will always be like, get Scrivener and try it for at least like a month before dismissing it. A lot of people think it's hard to understand, but it's really not. It's really simple, and it keeps everything in one place, and that's my favorite part of it. It's like all your files. You don't have to go into a folder and open a bunch of stuff and like crash your computer because you're opening 300 different files. Everything is in this one file. Everything is in Scrivener. All my character pictures, all my outlining, all of my notes, all of my just random thoughts, every scene, every chapter, it's all here in this one thing right on the side, and I just got to click it and it pops up for me to see it side by side with what I'm actually working on. And that has really, really made a difference in my writing. Oh, it is the 45. It's super cool. So 20 minutes, and I will see you guys back here on the O5. That's math for you. That was fast. Okay, that was 20 minutes. How'd you do? I got 20 more words than before, 251 words. It's kind of funny that it's ending up there. I've been getting a lot of 3s and 5s lately, along with my usual 133, so I'm probably doing okay in life. 164, nice. Good job. So some writing has been happening. Again, it's like, I don't know if you saw me like yawning, but I'm like sleepy. Like, I'm always sleepy. But like, I just suddenly started getting a little bit sleepy, so I feel like that may be something for me to address when I come back to this in the second draft. If I mean, I don't think this is what's been making me sleepy, because I'm actually pretty interested in what's happening in the conversation that's going on. I was able to add a little bit of sensory scenery stuff. So there's like the sounds of construction and things going on, but it's still a little sparse there. It's still a lot of dialogue and very personal, like things that the characters are doing. So it's it's up close. It's like if this was on camera, it'd be like the camera is so close that you can see the ticks on a person's face and see what they're doing, but not necessarily have the rest of the picture. And I want the rest of the picture. So that's something I have to come back and fix. Right now, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just trying to get the information here, and like there's a conversation happening that has to turn, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to what has to be said or what has to be conveyed so that it can turn the right way. And I know that's really hard to explain without giving any details, but I'm trying to figure that out, and it's not easy. So we will do one more sprint. We'll do a 20-minute sprint to close out the night, and we'll probably do that either at the 10 or the 15, depending on, if you have questions or if I'm just rambling too long, because the 10 is in 3 minutes. And then we'll call it a night for the sprints. I'll probably keep writing a bit because I haven't really been writing this week. I have been just not. Like, there's like the whole coronavirus thing going on, and so like my partner is no longer like his school's closed down, and so partner is a weird word. My domestic best friend. But his school's like closed down, and so having someone here, my brain is just like hang out with the person, like talk to the person, be there for the person, and it's harder for me to put myself in the mindset of working, which is why I'm always like, I need an office so that if I can be alone and work, because when someone is here, anybody, when there's a person around me, my brain is like, pay attention to that person, give that person what they need, and like it's really hard for me to start like focusing on my work and just not feel like I'm ignoring a person, even if they don't like need my attention right then and there. It still kind of feels like I'm ignoring the person I'm around, and that's not fun unless they're doing something too, in which case it's fun. Like I have a friend who comes over and he writes with me, and so he'll do either writing or coding stuff while I'm doing writing sprints, and we'll talk in between, and that's really nice. That's really cool. But if it's a person who's like chilling, who's like watching TV, playing games, or just like hanging out, then my brain is like, you also want to hang out, don't you, Victoria? And I do. I mean, I love hanging out, I love chilling, but I also love working. I love writing, I love creating, and I love the whole process of trying to figure these things out, like this conversation that has to turn, and trying to find out what can I create, what can I say, or what can the character say or do that's just subtle enough that the other character picks up on it, but it's not like, hello, we are here to oh man. I was going to almost give you a spoiler, but like just say, for example, this is not happening, but for if they were like, hello, we're here to kill your cousin, then obviously she'd be like, what? But we can't do that because that's obvious, and we need nuance, we need subtlety, we need just kind of I don't know how to explain it. This is why I write things down, because speaking words does not work for Victoria. I am not great with speaking words unless I write them or think about them in advance. And I mean, I guess I'm okay if I'm talking about like philosophy and emotions and like spiritual things in life, but like just trying to explain something without being overt and just direct and totally clear about it, that's really hard for me. It's hard for me to speak vaguely in a way that's understood. Instead, it just ends up being just too vague and annoying. So we are going to go on the 15 since it is the 10 now. And your girl is rambling because that's what she does. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm really not. I like who I am. I'm pretty cool. Even with this weird thing that's happening with my lips. This just didn't do well. I've not been doing things well lately. I think it's because Mercury retrograde just ended, and I'm usually a lot better during retrogrades than out of them. For some reason, I'm a lot more, I think, better, I think, during retrogrades because Mercury is my ruling planet. But that's for a different channel. That discussion is for my pagan channel, Maiden Circle, not this channel. But yeah, I also messed up some cookies yesterday, like bad, like thoroughly messed them up. They are hideous. They don't taste terrible, but they don't taste like amazing, and also they look bad. Like they became these huge cookie platters instead of like, and I cut them into individual cookies, but then they all just merged into this one big platter, two big platters, because I used two trays. And then one of them was too close to the side of the oven, and like half of it is just like crispy black. It burned. So I ruined the cookies, and I feel so sad because I was so excited to have cookies, but I messed up in a number of ways. I didn't have all the right ingredients, and I didn't want to bother getting ingredients, so I tried to substitute, and it didn't turn out bad. It just like the burning was the real issue, I think, and of course the platter of cookie, which is okay. Like I don't mind having a cookie platter. Like I'll eat it all day long. But we do have vanilla ice cream, so I'm gonna try to see if I can salvage some of it by topping it with delicious ice cream tonight. I deserve it, and you deserve it. If you have ice cream, they make vegan ice cream. If you're a vegetarian or lactose intolerant, enjoy a nice, cool frozen treat on you tonight, because I'm not going to buy it for you, but enjoy it in my honor. Oh, what was that? Was that? I guess that was upstairs. I have a kitten up here, a cat sleeping up there, and then I have a little kitten sleeping down there, and so I'm in a kitten sandwich, and it's just the best. I love these cats. They're always around me. I was staying in bed a little bit later today because of the whole hangover thing, and you know, I am getting a little too old for hangovers. It's just not for me, man. But I did have a great time. But my cats, they don't like each other, so they always end up like on either side of me. Or well, she loves Brooklyn. She's obsessed with Brooklyn, but Brooklyn doesn't like her, and so they always end up kind of on either side of me. Ice cream at 2 a.m. is still delicious. I have had ice cream at any hours. It's never too late for ice cream if you want it. I mean, no pressure, you know, like do what makes you feel good. For me, I'll eat ice cream at any hour of the day, anytime. I don't care. I do what I want. But also, I'm probably not a role model for healthy living. I exercise, but only because if I don't, I'm afraid I'll just like drop dead. So I have to exercise and get my heart pumping, because I'm afraid that otherwise I'm going to, like, just because I sit at my desk all the time, it's going to end up bad for me in like the next few years. And I'd like to be healthy and fit. And I'm thinking of getting back into martial arts for that reason, something a lot more aggressive than what I used to do, like Krav Maga. That I'm not an aggressive person. I'm just not. I'm like a sloth. I'm sorry. I'm just like a little person who writes books and reads books and talks about books and eats ice cream at 3 in the morning. So one more minute and we will start our last sprint. Oh, less than a minute now. We're starting our last sprint. This is a 20-minute sprint. I'll come back and chat with you just a little bit after that, and then we're probably going to call it a night. So let's do it. 20 minutes on the clock, and right. Use my command. Oh man, that was 20 minutes. I'm literally like in the middle of a sentence, and I'm going to try to finish it real fast before I like forget it. So we got like 2 extra minutes. Okay, less than 2, because who understands time? Not I, says Victoria. That was 20 minutes. And in that 20-minute section, I was able to write 372 words. Not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, I was able to write 372 words in that 20-minute section, which is good. And I was able to create the turning points. So now we're there, and one of the characters is kind of trying to do a little bit of damage control, but it's probably not going to work out, and they are going to be asked to leave, essentially. And then we're going to be moving on to the next chapter. So this chapter is almost done. Yay! And it's really cool to see whenever I finish a chapter and just move into the next chapter. It's just, I don't know, it's just a good feeling, you know? It's like, I can write this book. And as hard as it can be sometimes, and as intimidating as the idea of finishing an entire book can be sometimes, knowing that I can write this book, and that I am writing this book, and that I've gotten another chapter done, it feels really good, and it's very motivating for me. 103, nice job, Binary. So I will be back next week on Wednesday, the 18th, I believe. Let's see. Yes, Wednesday the 18th and Wednesday the 25th. I will be back April 1st. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll be avoiding everything because of that being one of the worst holidays of the year. It's also my uncle's birthday on April 5th. And March 25th, I think, is my brother's birthday. And I think he would be like 40, or no, he'll be like 39, I think, on that day. I don't really talk to my brother. We're not close at all. He has been in prison most of my life for stupid reasons. He didn't actually do anything that he should be there for that long, but he is, unfortunately. And so I don't really talk to him that much because our relationship just wasn't great beforehand, and now it's just, there are a lot of issues. But that is not what you came here for, is it? No, ma'am, no, sir. So, yeah, I'm going to keep writing. I'm going to try to finish this chapter and start the next chapter before I feel a little bit burnt out. I'm going to turn off this light that I have up here because it always kind of hurts my eyes. I'm going to wash my face because I really only put on makeup for like videos. And every now and then when I want to have fun and go out, I might put on makeup. But kind of not loving this gold right now, and probably because it's like patchy and like coming off and stuff. The bottom lip looks great. But yeah, that is our writing sprint for this week. I'm sorry if I'm a little low energy. It is because I have a life. I'm sorry. I mean, everyone has a life, right? If you're here, you're living. But yeah, I will be back next week, probably a lot more perky and awake, and it'll be on a Wednesday, which is the norm. So yay! I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here, and please remember that I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, right. By the way, subscribe.